While Wall Street boomed and pop culture exploded, middle-class families across the nation were mastering the art of stretching $1 at the dinner table. This is the story of 25 cheap dinners every middle-class family ate in the 80s, the meals that fed a generation without breaking the bank. Beef stew. Nothing said Sunday dinner quite like a pot of beef stew simmering on the stove. Moms would take the cheapest cuts of chuck roast, cube them up, and let time work its magic. Carrots, potatoes, onions, and celery joined the party in a Dutch oven that had seen better decades. The secret wasn't expensive ingredients, it was patience. 4 hours of slow cooking turned tough meat tender and created a gravy thick enough to coat a spoon. Served with crusty bread or dinner rolls, this one-pot wonder could feed a family of 6 for under $5. The best part? It tasted even better the next day, making it the ultimate leftovers champion. Chili. Every family had their own chili recipe, and every family swore theirs was the best. Ground beef, kidney beans, diced tomatoes, and a packet of chili seasoning were the foundation. But the real magic happened with the add-ins. Some families threw in corn, others added chocolate for richness. The beauty of chili was its flexibility. You could make it with whatever you had in the pantry. A big pot would last for days, served over rice, spooned onto hot dogs, or ladled over baked potatoes. At under 50 cents per serving, it was comfort food that didn't require taking out a loan. The aroma alone was worth the price of admission. Creamed spinach. Popeye made spinach famous, but 1980s moms made it affordable. Frozen spinach blocks were dirt cheap and could be transformed into something special with a little creativity. The basic recipe called for butter, flour, milk, and that brick of frozen spinach, thawed and squeezed dry. Some families added cream cheese for extra richness, others threw in some garlic powder. Served alongside meatloaf or pork chops, creamed spinach made the plate look fancy without fancy prices. Kids might have turned their noses up initially, but most came around when they realized it tasted nothing like the canned stuff. It was proof that vegetables didn't have to be boring or expensive. Tater Tot Casserole. The crown jewel of Midwest cooking, Tater Tot Casserole was comfort food in its purest form. Ground beef got browned with onions, mixed with cream of mushroom soup and frozen vegetables, then topped with a golden layer of tater tots. Into a 9 by 13 pan it went, emerging 40 minutes later as pure magic. Some families added cheese, others mixed in green beans or corn. The beauty was in its simplicity and the fact that kids actually ate their vegetables when they were buried under crispy potato nuggets. At less than $1 per serving, it was budget-friendly fuel that could power a family through the coldest winter nights. King Ranch Chicken Casserole. Named after the famous Texas ranch, this casserole brought southwestern flair to suburban dinner tables. Chicken, cheese, peppers, onions, and tortillas layered together like a Tex-Mex lasagna. Cream of chicken soup and diced tomatoes held everything together, while a final layer of cheese guaranteed golden perfection. The dish could be assembled in the morning and baked when everyone got home, making it perfect for busy weeknight schedules. Leftover rotisserie chicken worked beautifully, stretching one store-bought bird into dinner for 6. With ingredients that rarely topped $10 total, it delivered restaurant flavors on a home budget. Porcupine Meatballs. The name made kids giggle, but the taste made everyone come back for seconds. Ground beef, mixed with uncooked rice, formed into balls, and simmered in tomato sauce created these playfully named dinner heroes. As they cooked, the rice absorbed the sauce and expanded, creating little spikes that resembled porcupine quills. The one-pot cooking method meant minimal cleanup, always a win for busy parents. Served over mashed potatoes or with a side of bread, porcupine meatballs proved that dinner didn't need to be complicated to be satisfying. Ground beef was cheap, rice was cheaper, and creativity was free. Chicken and rice casserole. When chicken went on sale, smart shoppers stocked up and turned to this reliable casserole. Chicken pieces, rice, cream of mushroom soup, and a packet of onion soup mix created dinner magic in a single dish. Some families added frozen vegetables, others threw in mushrooms or bell peppers. The rice cooked perfectly in the chicken juices, creating a complete meal that required nothing more than a green salad on the side. Baked, covered for tenderness. Then, uncovered to golden the top, it emerged from the oven, ready to feed hungry mouths. At under $6 for the whole pan, it was economical eating at its finest. Salmon patties. Canned salmon transformed into crispy, golden patties that brought a touch of elegance to weeknight dinners. Mixed with breadcrumbs, eggs, and a little onion, then fried until golden. These patties were proof that fancy didn't require fresh fish prices. Some families served them with tartar sauce, others preferred ketchup, or even just a squeeze of lemon. Paired with mashed potatoes and green beans, salmon patties felt like restaurant dining on a home budget. The secret was buying canned salmon when it went on sale and stocking up. At less than $1 per serving, it was affordable protein that impressed dinner guests. Chicken a la king. This creamy, elegant dish made chicken stretch further than it had any right to. Diced chicken in a rich cream sauce with peas, mushrooms, and sometimes diced peppers, served over rice, biscuits, or toast points. The sauce was simple: butter, flour, milk or cream, and seasoning, but the result felt sophisticated. Leftover chicken worked perfectly, making it an excellent way to use up Sunday's roast. Some families served it over pasta, others preferred mashed potatoes. The key was the sauce, which turned simple ingredients into something special. It proved that elegant dining didn't require an elegant budget. Macaroni and cheese casserole. Box mac and cheese was fine, but casserole mac and cheese was family legend. Elbow macaroni, real cheese sauce made from scratch, and a crispy breadcrumb topping created comfort food worthy of Sunday dinner. The secret was using a combination of cheeses, usually cheddar for flavor and American for smoothness. Some families added ham or bacon bits, others threw in frozen peas. Baked until bubbly and golden, it emerged from the oven as pure childhood happiness. A single pan could feed 8 people for under $5, making it both economical and delicious. It was proof that simple ingredients could create extraordinary memories. Poor man's stew. Don't let the name fool you. This stew was rich in flavor and satisfaction. Ground beef, potatoes, onions, and whatever vegetables were on hand or on sale simmered together in beef broth. The beauty was its flexibility. Carrots, green beans, corn, peas, or tomatoes all worked perfectly. Some families added pasta, others threw in rice. The key was browning the meat well and letting everything simmer until the flavors married. Served with cornbread or dinner rolls, it was a complete meal that cost less than $3 to make. It fed families through tough times and good times alike, proving that love was the most important ingredient. Cornbread and Beans. This Southern classic made its way to dinner tables across America, bringing comfort and affordability in equal measure. A pot of pinto beans, seasoned with ham hocks or bacon, simmered all day until creamy and tender. Fresh cornbread, made from scratch or from a mix, provided the perfect complement. Some families added chopped onions to their beans, others preferred them plain. The combination provided complete protein while costing mere pennies per serving. It was filling, nutritious, and could stretch to feed unexpected dinner guests. The smell of beans cooking and cornbread baking meant home in the most fundamental way. Johnny Marzetti. This Ohio casserole classic spread across the country like comfort food wildfire. Ground beef, pasta, cheese, and tomato sauce layered together and baked until bubbly. Named after an Italian restaurant owner, it was Americanized Italian food at its most accessible. Some families added mushrooms or peppers, others kept it simple. The dish could be assembled ahead of time and baked when needed, making it perfect for busy schedules. Kids loved the pasta and cheese. Parents loved the price point. A single pan could feed 8 people for under $7, making it both economical and crowd-pleasing. Potato soup. When potatoes went on sale, wise home cooks made soup. Basic ingredients: potatoes, onions, milk, butter, and seasoning, transformed into creamy, satisfying bowls of comfort. Some families added bacon bits. Others threw in cheese. The key was cooking the potatoes until they were tender enough to mash slightly, creating natural thickness without flour or cream. Served with saltine crackers or grilled cheese sandwiches, it was a complete meal for under $2 total. It proved that simple ingredients, handled with care, could create restaurant-quality results on a shoestring budget. Fried Bologna Sandwiches. Lunch meat became dinner when budgets got tight, and fried Bologna sandwiches were surprisingly satisfying. Thick slices of bologna, scored to prevent curling, fried until the edges were crispy and the center was warm. Served on white bread with mustard, mayo, or ketchup. They were simple but filling. Some families added cheese, others served them open-faced with mashed potatoes on the side. Kids especially loved watching the bologna puff up in the pan. At less than 50 cents per sandwich, it was affordable protein that could feed a family when money was tight. Sometimes, the simplest solutions were the most satisfying. Hoover Stew. Named after the Depression-era president, this stew was about making much from little. Ground beef, potatoes, onions, and canned tomatoes simmered together with whatever vegetables were available. Some versions included pasta, others added rice. The beauty was its adaptability. Use whatever was in the pantry or on sale. It was hearty, filling, and could stretch 1 pound of meat to feed 6 people. Served with bread or crackers, it provided complete nutrition without breaking the bank. The name might have referenced hard times, but the taste was purely satisfying. It was proof that good food didn't require good times. Potato pancakes. Leftover mashed potatoes got new life as crispy pancakes that made breakfast for dinner feel special. Mixed with eggs and a little flour, then fried until golden, they were comfort food with a twist. Some families served them with applesauce. Others preferred sour cream or even maple syrup. They worked perfectly alongside eggs and bacon, or as a side dish with meatloaf. The key was getting them crispy on the outside while keeping them fluffy inside. Made from ingredients that cost less than $2 total, they proved that leftovers could be just as good as the original meal. Beans and rice. This protein-complete combination fed families around the world, and American kitchens embraced its simplicity and nutrition. Red beans, white rice, and seasoning created a satisfying meal that cost pennies per serving. Some families added sausage when budgets allowed. Others threw in ham bones for flavor. The key was cooking the beans until they were creamy, creating their own thick sauce. Served with cornbread or dinner rolls, it was a complete meal that could feed 6 people for under $3. It was proof that healthy eating didn't require a healthy bank account. Hot water cornbread. When even cornbread mix felt expensive, hot water cornbread came to the rescue. Cornmeal, salt, and boiling water mixed together and fried in hot oil created crispy, golden rounds of comfort. Some families added a little sugar, others preferred them savory. They were perfect alongside beans, stew, or soup, soaking up flavors while adding satisfying crunch. The entire recipe cost less than 50 cents and could feed a family of 6. Made fresh and served hot, they were proof that the simplest recipes often delivered the most satisfaction. Sometimes, the best things in life really were the cheapest. Hash browns and egg skillet. Breakfast for dinner was always a hit, and this skillet meal delivered both comfort and economy. Frozen hash browns, scrambled eggs, and whatever cheese was in the refrigerator combined in a single pan for minimal cleanup. Some families added ham or bacon, others threw in peppers or onions. The key was getting the potatoes crispy before adding the eggs, creating textural contrast that made every bite interesting. Served with toast or biscuits, it was a complete meal for under $4. It proved that breakfast foods weren't just for morning. They could provide comfort any time of day. Baked bean casserole. Canned baked beans got dressed up with brown sugar, bacon, and onions for a side dish that could double as dinner. Some families added hot dogs or kielbasa, turning it into a complete meal. Baked until bubbly and caramelized on top, it emerged from the oven as pure comfort food. The sweetness balanced beautifully with savory meats, making it perfect for casual family dinners. At less than $3 for a full pan, it could feed 8 people as a side or 6 as a main course. It was proof that canned goods could be transformed into something special with a little creativity. Cornmeal Mush. This breakfast dish that doubled as dinner was pure comfort in a bowl. Cornmeal cooked slowly in milk or water until thick and creamy, then served hot with butter and syrup or sugar. Some families sliced and fried leftover mush for a different texture and flavor. It was filling, warming, and cost almost nothing to make. Children especially loved the sweet versions, while adults appreciated its stick-to-your-ribs satisfaction. A single cup of cornmeal could feed a family of 6 for breakfast or dinner, making it one of the most economical meals possible. Sometimes, simple really was better. Leftover meatloaf sandwiches. The day after meatloaf was almost better than meatloaf day itself. Thick slices of cold meatloaf on white bread with mayo, ketchup, or mustard created sandwiches that were satisfying and economical. Some families added lettuce or tomato when available. Others preferred them plain. The key was slicing the meatloaf thick enough to be substantial, but thin enough to bite through easily. These sandwiches could stretch one meatloaf into 2 complete meals, doubling its value. At less than $1 per sandwich, they proved that leftovers didn't have to feel like second-choice food. Egg salad sandwiches. When protein was needed but budgets were tight, egg salad came to the rescue. Hard-boiled eggs mashed with mayonnaise, mustard, and sometimes chopped celery or onions created filling sandwiches that cost pennies to make. The key was not over-mixing. Some texture made them more interesting. Served on white bread with lettuce if available, they were simple but satisfying. A dozen eggs could make enough egg salad for 8 sandwiches, feeding a family for under $2. They were proof that simple ingredients, properly prepared, could create meals that were both economical and delicious. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. This classic combination was comfort food perfection that fit any budget. Buttered bread, American cheese, and a hot skillet created golden sandwiches that paired perfectly with canned tomato soup. Some families added ham or bacon to the sandwiches. Others kept them simple. The key was getting the bread golden and the cheese completely melted without burning. Served with the soup for dipping, it was a complete meal that cost less than $3 for a family of 4. It was proof that some food combinations were so perfect they transcended economics. They were just right. Egg drop soup. This Chinese restaurant favorite was surprisingly easy and cheap to make at home. Chicken broth, cornstarch for thickening, and beaten eggs swirled in at the last minute created silky, satisfying soup. Some families added soy sauce for color and flavor. Others kept it simple. Green onions sprinkled on top added color and freshness. The entire pot cost less than $2 and could serve 6 people as a light dinner or 4 as a more substantial meal. It was exotic enough to feel special, but simple enough for weeknight cooking, proving that international flavors didn't require international budgets. Sloppy Joes. Ground beef, onions, and a can of tomato sauce transformed into messy sandwiches that kids absolutely loved. The secret was browning the meat well and letting the sauce simmer until thick enough to stay on the bun. Some families added Worcestershire sauce or brown sugar for depth. Others kept it simple with just ketchup and mustard mixed in. Served on hamburger buns with a side of chips or fries, it was casual dining that felt like a treat. The beauty was its speed, from start to finish in 20 minutes. 1 pound of ground beef could make enough sloppy joes for 6 people, costing less than $4 total. Tuna noodle casserole. Canned tuna, egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup, and frozen peas combined to create this quintessential comfort casserole. Topped with crushed potato chips or breadcrumbs for crunch, it baked until bubbly and golden. Some families added cheese, others threw in diced celery for texture. The dish could be assembled in the morning and baked when everyone got home from work and school. At less than $5 for a full 9x13 pan, it could feed 8 people generously. It was proof that canned fish could be transformed into something that felt homemade and special, stretching protein dollars further than fresh fish ever could. Pancakes for dinner. When breakfast foods invaded dinner time, nobody complained about fluffy pancakes served with butter and syrup. Some families went all out with bacon or sausage on the side. Others served them plain as the main event. The batter was simple: flour, eggs, milk, and baking powder. But the results were always crowd-pleasing. Kids especially loved this role reversal, eating breakfast food when they should be eating dinner. A single batch could feed 6 people for under $3, making it both fun and economical. It was comfort food that broke all the rules and made weeknight dinners feel like weekend treats. Stuffed bell peppers. Green bell peppers became edible bowls for a mixture of ground beef, rice, onions, and tomatoes. The peppers were hollowed out, stuffed full, and baked until tender. Some families topped them with cheese in the last few minutes. Others served them plain. The rice absorbed all the meat juices while cooking, creating a complete meal in each pepper. They looked fancy enough for company, but cost less than $6 to make 6 servings. It was proof that vegetables could be the star of the show, while still delivering the protein and carbohydrates growing families needed. Liver and onions. Not every cheap dinner was universally loved, but liver and onions delivered iron and protein at rock-bottom prices. Beef liver, sliced thin and cooked quickly, paired with slowly caramelized onions that softened the strong flavor. Some families soaked the liver in milk first to mellow its taste. Others dove right in. Served with mashed potatoes and green beans, it was a complete meal that cost less than $3. Parents appreciated the nutrition, even if kids needed convincing. The key was not overcooking the liver, which turned it tough and bitter. When done right, it was surprisingly tender and flavorful. Goulash. This one-pot wonder combined ground beef, elbow macaroni, diced tomatoes, and onions in a single skillet. Some families called it American chop suey. Others knew it simply as goulash. The beauty was its simplicity and speed. Everything cooked together in 30 minutes or less. Cheese stirred in at the end made it creamy and kid-friendly. It was the kind of meal that could be made with pantry staples when fresh ingredients were scarce. One skillet could feed 6 people for under $5, making it both economical and satisfying. It proved that comfort food didn't need to be complicated to be delicious. Fish sticks and French fries. Frozen fish sticks and frozen French fries turned the oven into a restaurant fryer without the restaurant prices. Both cooked at the same temperature, making dinner coordination simple. Some families served tartar sauce. Others preferred ketchup for everything. The key was spreading everything on baking sheets so nothing got soggy. Kids loved the finger food aspect. Parents loved the ease of preparation. A family-sized box of fish sticks and a bag of fries cost less than $6 and could feed 4 people generously. It was proof that frozen foods could deliver restaurant experiences at home prices. Hamburger gravy over biscuits. Ground beef cooked with onions, then mixed with milk gravy, and served over split biscuits created this Southern-inspired comfort meal. The gravy was made right in the same pan as the meat, using the drippings for extra flavor. Some families added black pepper generously, others threw in a little sage. Canned biscuits made the meal quick and easy, though some families made theirs from scratch. It was stick-to-your-ribs food that could power families through cold nights and long days. 1 pound of ground beef and a can of biscuits could feed 6 people for under $4. Spanish rice. Ground beef, rice, onions, and diced tomatoes simmered together with chili powder and cumin created this Tex-Mex-inspired one-pot meal. Some families added bell peppers or corn, others kept it simple. The key was toasting the rice slightly before adding liquid, which prevented mushiness and added nutty flavor. Cheese sprinkled on top in the last few minutes made it extra appealing to kids. It was complete protein and carbohydrates in a single dish, requiring only a simple salad on the side. 1 pound of meat and 2 cups of rice could feed 8 people for under $5, making it both filling and economical. Pork chops and rice. Bone-in pork chops, browned, and then baked with rice and onion soup mix, created an elegant meal from humble ingredients. The rice cooked in the pork drippings, absorbing all that savory flavor, while the meat stayed tender and juicy. Some families added mushrooms or bell peppers, others kept it simple. The one-pan cooking method meant minimal cleanup, always appreciated by busy families. Served with a vegetable on the side, it felt like Sunday dinner even on a Tuesday night. 6 pork chops and 2 cups of rice could feed a family of 6 for under $8, proving that simple ingredients could create impressive results.